Hi everyone, anybody watching yet? I just got about to recasting person, and then I can sit back and we can have a chat. Thanks for joining. That'll do. Mid-river. Big slab on there. So get that side. There we go. That's a bit better. There we go. Oh, look, we've got 2 people watching already. How fantastic is that? Get myself in the picture here. Can you tell me in the chat what's the sound like? Can you hear me? Let's have a look. Just the one rod out today. I'm just having a bit of a nightmare with equipment and etc. etc. We're on Dendrobina worm on the hook, a simple feeder rig with some liquid red and some maggots in the feeder. So let's see how that goes. Oh, thank you very much, sounds okay. Good. I'm slowly, I think this is the 4th or 5th live stream that I've done in recent weeks, and slowly I'm trying to get things better, because the first couple of live streams it was there was a lot of buffering going on, which was no fun at all. It was a difficult watch, and my voice was breaking up and stuttering. So it's not always easy, but I've done a little bit of internet research and slowly making some improvements. I've got more improvements on the way, and hopefully soon we'll get a full hour's live stream without any buffering, breaking up, etc, etc, because it is a pain in the neck. But we'll get it right. We'll keep working at it. I've done all my jobs for the day. I left the house about 1:30. I sat here on the riverbank making phone calls, watching the world go by a little bit, and I'm on my 2nd cast. So I had nothing first cast, but in the first cast I cast it right out under that tree into the deeper water. But the feeder that I'm using is a little bit too light, and it kept on bouncing in the current. So my rod tip was going all the time like that. It wasn't a bite, but it was annoying, because you couldn't tell if it was a bite or if it was just the feeder bouncing and pulling back. So this time I've cast it more into the middle of the river, slightly further downstream, and the feeder's static now, which is a bit better. Obviously I've realised that if I want to fish that far channel I need a slightly heavier feeder, but hey ho. So we're on the Irwell in Agecroft. If you want to look it up on Google Maps, just put River Irwell, Agecroft, and you'll see where I am. I'm just upstream of this lovely bridge, which is the Thirlmere Aqueduct from, it's the water supply for Manchester that goes across the river here on an aqueduct bridge. It's a lovely bridge. I think it's grade 2 listed. What other news have we got? What am I hoping to catch? Well, anything, to be honest with you. There's chub, dace, roach, perch, pike, bream, carp, grayling and trout in this section, plus obviously minnows, but we don't get minnows so much at this time of the year. Loads of signal crayfish. The water's a little bit cold for them, so most of those will be hibernating, I hope. And in this area there is also 2 species of fish which will be absolutely amazing to catch but highly unlikely, which are carp and barbel. So it is the ultimate prize on this river to catch a river carp or a river barbel. They are there, very low in numbers, very difficult to catch, but there's some decent fish in here, so I always rig up properly for bigger fish. So we've got using 12-pound main line today and an 8-pound hook link to a size 10 hook. So it's all pretty beefy gear, because there is nothing worse. I'd rather have a blank than lose a big fish. Simple as that. Phil Lee, plenty of sewer trout. Hiya Phil, you in your comfy armchair again? Now you're retired. You should come fishing with me, Phil. Hey? Feet in front of the fire, doing your whittling, smoking your pipe with your slippers on. It's 4 degrees out here, Phil. You should come and join me. Put your gloves on, your hat and gloves. Come and join me out fishing. I had a busy morning doing my orders for my website. I've got a private website at the moment which I'm not sharing. The main one that I'm working on behind the scenes is likely to go live in about 10 days time. Got lots and lots of items of fishing tackle for sale, and obviously the more you buy, the more frequently I can go fishing. It's a very, very simple formula. And also, in my head, oh, one sunny day, that's a song, that, Phil, one sunny day. I've also earmarked I've not got to 1,000 subscribers or monetization yet on YouTube, but when I do that, because the money you get isn't brilliant, I've allocated that little bit of money is going to be my petrol money for fishing. So I've got lots of exciting plans coming up this year, fishing wise, and I'm going to go live more frequently, and I'm going to put YouTube videos up more frequently, write more articles. So I think the old Fishing Fiend blog is going to get properly tickled up and working up again, and we'll just see where we go. And most importantly, have some fun and catch plenty of fish, different species. So it's now 2:30. I reckon we'll manage till 3:30 today. And then domestically, I think we've got, what day of the week is it? Wednesday, is it? Yeah, I think it's Scouts tonight and Cubs on Thursday. So my services are required for making kids dinner after school and Dad's taxi to take middle son to Scouts. See, now I'm semi-retired. I don't know what day of the week it is. It's Thursday, isn't it? Is it Wednesday? I don't know. Let me have a look on my phone. Let me have a look. This is the delights of being retired or semi-retired. I haven't got a clue what day of the week it is. I love it. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, Scouts tonight, nothing on Wednesday, Cubs on Thursday. Honestly, I need to tattoo this on the back of my hand. Become forgetful now, now I'm not obliged to remember everything. Ah, Tuesday, because it's bin day. Correct, Phil. It's bin day for me as well. Black bin and brown bin today. Ooh, look, I just... So let's have a look now. Look, this one's been in, we're going to give it another 5 minutes and then we'll have a reel in and a recast. And I think, I don't know what you can see, but we'll aim towards that metal concrete structure over on that far bank and give it a good bang. There's a bit of an upstream wind. I don't mind that because it helps put a tiny little bit of a bow in the line and takes the pressure off the feeder. If we get a fish, well, it's either going to go slam bang if it's a decent one, or we'll get a bit of a drop back bite. But those of you who know me know that I'm famous for being a little bit of a blanker, which is fair enough in the winter. But I do have to inform you that the other day I went fishing on the lake, which is 550 yards, 100 yards in that direction, and I caught a nice pike, and I caught it on camera. So I wasn't live blogging at the time, unfortunately, but I did catch most of it on camera, so it will go up on my normal standard YouTube video probably put it on tomorrow, so it'll go on at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and all of you in work, it'll give you half an hour of something exciting to do at work, which is fishing. This is only, I think, the second or third time I've fished this swim. I'm a little bit feeling it out. I'm still on one rod. Maybe the next time, I brought a second rod with me today, but now I've sat here, I don't really feel like putting it up. Maybe the next time I come fishing here, which will be later this week probably, I'll fish 2 rods. I'll fish one rod with the same setup I've got on today, which is the worm feeder, and the other rod I'll put a maggot feeder on with a smaller hook, lighter lines, and just see if there's any small fish knocking about. Because there should be in here, well, I know there's bullhead, stone loach, minnows, stickleback, gudgeon. I've never seen any rough here, lots of small dace, so fingers crossed we up our chances of catching by not fishing with the big baits. Obviously today's we've got dendrobina on a size 10, so it does limit our catching, but I'd rather have the big ones than the small ones. Slowly just trying to keep reorganising myself so that we can have a chat. Yeah, have a coming camera yet. As I say, I'm under strict instructions to be home by 4 o'clock, so the live stream will be finished well before then. Those of you who are married with kids, you know what it's like. You are no longer your own boss. You are no longer the master of your own destiny, are you? Phil Lee, what's the volume? Have we been buffering since it started? I've done my best to get a better signal, because obviously my phone and my GoPro are linked, and then the phone's uploading all the time to the cloud, which is very cloudy day today, so who knows. We're on 4G, can't get 5G here because it's a load of rubbish. Every other network provider gives a good 5G coverage in Manchester, apart from Tesco stroke O2, and it's a great big hole where I live with rotten coverage. So I do have the bait runner on, just in case we get absolutely ragged off. It does happen if you hook a big trout on here. They just go like a steam train. You don't really want one at this time of the year, out of season, but it's not my fault whichever fish decides it's going to eat my hook bait. In the summer I often fish halibut pellet, PVA bag of smaller pellets and a great big 15mm donkey choker pellet on the hook bait, and the big trout go mad for halibut pellets. It's that fish oil just leaches out and away they go. But unfortunately so do the crayfish, so you're in competition with the crayfish. Phil, you're fine apart from that hat. Look, Phil, a fishing feeding blog the other day, so that's live now. Got over 300, which is good for me. I got 300 views in the first 48 hours, so I'm quite pleased with, because normally I only get about 200. And my subscriber level has risen to 594 at the start of today, so I'm getting closer to 600, and then hopefully we'll get to that magic 1,000 when I can start making some money. But don't think I'll be retiring or changing my taps for gold plated taps on the money that you get from Google for YouTube, and that YouTube partner program, because it's a pittance. But it might put a tank of petrol in my car, which will enable me to have some more fishing trips. Right then, we're time for a cast, so let me just have a reel in. Hopefully we're not snagged. As I say, I'm still feeling my way around this swim a little bit because it's new. I'm having a good cast around to find out where the snags are. I've not lost any tackle in this swim yet. So, as you can see, that's the rig. As simple as that. Small block end feeder, 2-foot tail, and a maggot on a worm on a size 10 with the tail snipped off to let the juice out. I always do that. I never fish a whole worm. I think let those juices and amino acids out of the worm, and it helps attract fish into your swim. There we go. I'm going to be in trouble when I get home. I pinched the last 3 slices of bread from the bread bin and whizzed them up in the in my wife's juice, in my wife's smoothie maker. It's also used for my liquidised bread, which she doesn't know about. Right then, so the cast and the worm fell off. Hey, don't watch the experts. Let's bring it back. The worm came off. Up you come. Find a new worm. Oh dear. What a disaster. Hey, what sort of angler casts in without checking his hook baits correctly secured? What sort of angler would do that? And now I've got to put my glasses on now because I can't. What a drama. Okay, worms on. Let's have to refill this feeder, and I think I'm going to start packing it a bit more. It's come back very empty very quickly, so I might pack it in a bit more this time and just see. I've had a mooch around Manchester city centre yesterday, having a look at various places that I could potentially live stream on, checking the signal and that sort of thing. And I found some really, really interesting swims that I'd like to try out and share. So now I've got plenty of time, we can have a bit of fun together. There you go, Mr. Lee, right under your tree on the far bank. You happy with that? Just tighten up a tiny bit. There we go. The problem when I cast out there, Phil, is this feeder is slightly too light. So if you watch the rod tip in a sec, it just the feeder finds its own place and there's a little bit of movement. Then as it empties, it springs back a little bit as it's lost weight. Anyway, hi fishy things, how's it going? We're doing good, thank you for joining us again, having a bit of fun. Oh, there you go, that was it, just springing back very slightly. Now that's the problem with using the feeder that's slightly too light. That indication on the rod tip, I don't know if that's a fish going rat-a-tat-tat or if that's the feeder just dislodged and bouncing down the riverbed. What I'm going to do, let's have a look at the weight of this thing. These feeders, this is the one that I'm using, and I'm just looking to see if it's got a weight on it. Drennan block end. Small, 23 grams. So So I might go on eBay later on tonight or Amazon and look for medium. The only problem with is then slightly more bait going in, but if it holds bottom better, I'll buy some medium feeders. Fishy things remind me, where are you from again? I know you're from the USA, aren't you? The home of big fish. I can't remember, were you North Carolina or were you Wisconsin? So I'm glad we've lost the buffer anyway. That was on Drinkwater Park, the buffering the other day. Lee, who often tunes in, who lives locally, contacted me afterwards and told me it was dreadful. But it's good to get the feedback, isn't it? If it's not going right, you need to know. So until we get a better signal set up and a better connection, unfortunately we're not going to fish Drinkwater Park Lake or that swim. Just because of that, because there's no point in doing a live stream from there if the picture quality and the sound quality is really bad. It's very quiet here this afternoon. There's not a lot going on apart from me doing a lot of talking. There's been nobody at all walking past. We've not even had the usual run of police cars over the bridge here. We get a lot of police cars going over this bridge because we're next to, there's a prison about 100 metres behind me, so they get a lot of deliveries of new guys in and out of going to the courts and things like that. There's a lot of prison traffic, and when they have a high security or a high risk prisoner, they always go under a blue light police escort, which is a bit of a waste of money these days, isn't it? Because you think you should be able to do everything via a Zoom meeting, even your court appearance. But I suppose if you're being sentenced, the judges like to see you in the flesh. Not that I know, I assume that because I've never actually been in court. So, for those of you who only know me through YouTube and not in real life, I used to work for the Rivers Trust, looking after these rivers, this river especially. And one of my jobs when I was at the Rivers Trust, or one of the things that I did, I set up a species hunt in the River Mersey estuary in Liverpool. And it's been a real success over the last 3 or 4 years. And the anglers who've taken part are given lots of really good data on what species of fish they're catching and things like that. And it's now been taken up, I think, by the Angling Trust and the Rivers Trust, and we're going to run a species hunt, especially for you, Mr. Phil Lee, who's listening. We're going to run 3 species hunts this year between June and September on local rivers. So I think there's going to be a Mersey, a Mersey and River Thames species hunt. There's going to be a Cheshire species hunt on the River Weavers and Dane, and there's going to be a River Irwell species hunt up here, which will be nice and interesting, and it'll give loads of data back to the relevant authorities on what sort of fish are living where, what species, what numbers of fish, and it's all data that the anglers collect. And it's a really good concept because to actually find out fisheries information and fisheries data scientifically is very, very expensive, whereas us anglers, screen's buffering, so maybe yours is. What I really need to do is get on 5G. And now, whether that means that I have to start paying for a new SIM card and dump my existing SIM card, I don't know. but I've got another 18 months left on my contract with Tesco's. So that's 18 months of 12 quid a month. Ouch! So 180 quid. Well, I suppose I can use 2 SIM cards. When I run out of data on one, I can just switch backwards and forwards to the other. So, the advantage of a modern phone with 2 SIMs. Now, I used to have a neighbour who had more than 1 SIM in his phone. Back in the days when you could only fit one SIM at a time. And he was away on holiday with his wife and kids. And one of his kids borrowed his phone, dropped it on the floor. It was a Nokia 32 something or other. It dropped. The girls dropped the phone on the kitchen floor. The back cover came off the phone, and out popped 2 different SIM cards. So go onto the floor. So girls being girls, put both SIMs into the phone to see what would happen, and as well as getting the phone that they were used to, they also got his booty cover phone to his girlfriend, and all his text message, lovey-dovey messages to his girlfriend. Obviously, they told them. The mum wasn't very happy. That was the end of the holiday. That was the end of the marriage, and it cost him thousands, well, hundreds of thousands. He was quite wealthy. So that's what happens sometimes when you think you can get away with it. Any little accident, and you get caught out. The poor man. Now then, let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see how long the buffer is between my phone, your phone, and this live stream. So I'm going to put my hand in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're on about 10 seconds. That's not too bad. Oh, we're doing it again. So, with it being February, I'm quite confident if I ask you guys out there who's been fishing recently, not many of you will have, because there's only mad ones like me who go fishing in January. It's 4 degrees today, which I think if you're in the good old US of A is 36 or 37 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's above freezing, but it feels freezing. But I'm nicely wrapped up, and I've got all my puffer jacket. I've got 2 puffer jackets on, one inside the other. I'm so warm I don't even need a pair of gloves, which is good news. So we'll give it another 5 minutes and have a recast. There we go. Now I live about 500 metres that way up the hill. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have a flat there overlooking the river? Oh, I'd love that. Be my dream, fishing at the front door. Maybe that might become a reality soon, because this weekend I'm off up to a creek, a tidal creek, looking at some moorings. So there is a possibility that I'm going to buy a boat in the next couple of months, a sailboat, get it on a mooring and take myself sea fishing a little bit more, which will be very nice. I'm looking forward to that. So I've always wanted to own a boat, a sailboat. So I used to sail dinghies when I was a teenager. I've sailed a boat around the Whitsunday Islands in Australia. I've sailed a boat around Göcek in Turkey in the Mediterranean. Where else have I been on a boat? I've been on quite a few, but never owned one. So I used to be in a local dinghy sailing club near to Greater Manchester, which I enjoyed and then didn't enjoy at the same time, because the problem with dinghies is they're constantly tipping over and capsizing and you're constantly wet. And I'm 58 years old and I don't enjoy it that much, so I'm determined to buy myself a boat with a lid on that's a bit more stable and won't tip me up all the time. That's the plan. And we'll see how it goes. The chat's quiet today and I've only got 2 people watching. What I tend to find, see, because I'm watching you all. Watching you, watching me. But what I tend to find is the live stream starts off quite slowly, and the longer it goes on for, the more people tune in. So I don't know. And also, it's not really the best time, is it? It's early morning in the USA. Everyone's still getting up out of bed. On the east coast of the USA. In the west coast, everyone's still fast asleep, just about. And in the UK, most people are working. I'm looking in a couple of weeks' time at doing it in the UK evening time, sort of from like 6 PM UK time, which should give me a better audience. And obviously, we're beginning to get lighter evenings now in the UK as we move from winter into spring. That'll help. The water temperature will slowly warm up. The fish will become more active. We'll hopefully catch more fish, because this is the worst time of the year to be fishing in the UK. The water's cold. All the fish are quite torpid. There's not really that much activity. But I don't care, because I'm much happier out here than I am sitting indoors on the sofa at home, scrolling through Facebook YouTube shorts and Facebook shorts, or watching TV, or worst of all, doing domestic house jobs for my wife. That is the worst. There is always a list of jobs to be done on the whiteboard in our house. I do try and do my fair share. I've hoovered the entire house and mopped the floors this morning. So I just had a message from a fishing friend of mine who's put a picture of a trout that he caught on this river about 7 miles in that direction, and he made the mistake of placing the fish on the floor without an unhooking mat. See, look, one of these. I've made that mistake in the past, and you get pulled to smithereens by the mat police on the internet. Now, yes, fish care is really, really important, but a little bit of dirt on a fish that you put back in the river never really does any harm. And he said it was a big trout as well. I'm just getting the information now as we're talking. He says it was a big trout. I can ask him to send me a pic, and then I'll share it with you guys on air. Oh, he has sent a pic. I'll put it up to the camera so you guys can see. Focus in on that. Can you see that one? I hope so. Let's have a look. I'll bring it again. Oh, it needs to be even closer. Right then, how's that? Can you see it this time? Lovely big fish. Beautiful trout. We'll go again because I can see what you're seeing. There we go. That's as close as I'm going to put it. You should be able to see it properly this time. It's a lovely big fish. A fish to be proud of. I'll ask him how much it weighed. And then we'll come, I think it's about 10 casting, isn't it? Oh, here we go. Any info when Barbel were first stocked in Irwell? Well, I do know a little bit about that. Give me 1 minute, I'm going to recast in and then we can have a chat about Irwell Barbel, because in reality that is what I'm after today. If you turn around to me at the start of when I came across the bridge, so what do you want to catch today? I'll catch anything, but more than anything I want to catch an Irwell Barbel, because I've had the pleasure of being present when they were stocked. Not the original ones, but I know a little bit about that, I can tell you. I do know about the original stockings, but I'm very well up on the recent. Oh, we've lost the worm again. So that's either been cast off or bitten off without me noticing. It's just, ooh, it's activity. Something's happened. Right then, another worm. That is the closest, or losing that worm is the closest mystery or whatever I've ever had to having a bite out of this peg so far. How exciting is that? Not casted, not losing the worm on cast, but losing the worm halfway through. Oh, what then? When I've brought it back. Hi, Mark Dunbar. That was I've just shown everyone on my live stream the picture of your lovely trout. Congratulations. So I don't know if you know, if you can see it. I hope you can hear me, Mark, but I've got news for you. The peg where I'm fishing here now today, this peg has recently done a double figure trout to somebody fishing for Barbel. And I'm exceedingly jealous. There we go. For Mr. Lee, towards the tree. Tighten up very slightly. There we go. It's a lovely fish. That was it on Mark? Was it on a spinner or a lure, or were you trotting? Was it on the float? It was a lovely fish, that. I'll put it up so everyone can see. Hang on. There we go. I'll put it up again for everybody there. Look, that's the fish that Mark, who's just joined the chat, he's just caught that cracker. Well done, Mark. I'm jealous. Lovely, lovely brownie. Trotted maggots, well done. Did you catch any grayling while you were there? They big trout on this river, when you hook them on light trotting gear, they go like a train. You really know you've got a fish on when you catch anything over 3. I mean, that, I'd guess that fish, looking at it, easy 5-pounder, easy 5 pound, 2.5 kilos if you're European, or want to remain in the European Union. 2.5 kilos, absolute cracker. I don't have to worry about remaining in the European Union because I am married to a European lady. So I can go wherever I want, whenever I want, and it doesn't bother me in the least. And if I wasn't married to her, I've got Irish parents, so I qualify there. The whole thing is a bit silly, but hey ho. In the USA you've got MAGA, Make America Great Again. I'd like to say that we've got MABA, Make Britain Great Again. But it's not going to happen because this country's going to the dogs. Mark, you have to come and join me down here one day for a session. I need to buy myself a new trotting rod. I'm in the market. I used to have a Drennan, it was like the prototype of a Drennan Acolyte. It was a lovely rod, really like 13 to 15 feet long, so it was like a combo. You could set it up in at both lengths. It's absolutely lovely rod. I've caught all sorts of great fish on it, barbel, chub, perfect for the river. But like most of my rods, it's got smashed in the car door. Absolutely terrible. I've got a terrible track record for smashing fishing tackle in car doors. At the moment I need a new landing net handle because that has splintered lengthways, and my drop shotting rod, I've put one of the butt ends in the car door, that's shattered, and now obviously my pride and joy, the Drennan Acolyte prototype, that's completely and utterly shattered beyond repair. Sorry, Barbel story. So Barbel story is that two anglers who I know but I'm not going to name brought barbel to the River Irwell in the mid 1980s from the River Ribble and the River Severn, and just dropped them in. And in the days of whilst there were no cormorants, and for a certain length of time, the barbel did quite well in the River Irwell when it was very, very dirty. They're still only just recovering from that long-term pollution. And there were barbel all the way up to the fire station at Bury and Burrs Country Park, and all the way down, so you could catch barbel at Littleton Road Weir, which is downstream to my right, about a mile from here. There were barbel caught on a regular basis near Eric's in Bury, and at Springwater Park in Whitefield was a barbel hotspot. And a guy called Dave Pimlott, who was a famous match angler and specimen angler, he was regularly catching them to about 13 pounds. And then over a period of time, the barbel population has really dropped off on the River Irwell. And the only place that I knew you could catch them was up near Clifton Marina, up near Bolton Sewage Works. And there was one very good angler who, I'm not going to give his swims away, but he said there was just one swim up there that constantly contained barbel, and you could go up there and you wouldn't catch one every time, but you could go and catch barbel there maybe 1 out of 5 visits, which is pretty good going for the River Irwell, because I've probably had about 60 barbel trips and never caught one yet. So throughout the 2000s the barbel fishing tailed off. There were no further restockings, and then I think it was in 2018 or 19, if you go onto my YouTube channel and look in videos and then scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, because it was quite a long time ago, you can actually see videos of barbel being stocked into the Irwell. I think it was about 2018 or 19, and there was probably close to 1,000 barbels stocked, and they were stocked at Burrs Country Park, they were stocked outside Eric's house in Bury, or Radcliffe Bury, and they were stocked 500 yards downstream from here to my right, behind Salford Sports Village into the River Irwell. And those barbel ranged between that big and that big, and there was 1,000 of them. And I'll be quite honest, since then I only know of 2 barbel being caught. One that big behind the racecourse pub down there the day after they'd been stocked here, so one had obviously popped over the weir, and one at Berry Bridge Weir about a year later, again about that big. But where they've gone no one knows, because the grayling that was stocked round about the same time, and the grayling was stocked only as like eyes and tails that were literally fried, just hatched from the eggs. There's 6,000 eyes and tails stocked, and they've done really well and are thriving, and there's good numbers of grayling now in the river, and we're hopeful that they're breeding. But the barbel have just done a complete and utter disappearing act. So Mark, how do you rate that Barbel Acolyte 14 footer? Is it the stronger version? Is it the Acolyte Plus, or is it just the normal one? Because if it was just the normal Acolyte one, that trout will have bent that rod over like a hoop. I'm not sure if the Acolyte Plus is a better rod for when you, it helps you land the bigger fish, doesn't it? Anyway, that was the Barbel story for the Irwell. That's as much, you know as much as I do now. One lad claimed to have caught a 14-pounder from Adelphi Weir a few years ago, but it could have come from anywhere, and it was a really, really bad photo. But I'll take his word for it that he caught it. Why not? I mean, if he hasn't done it, he's only kidding himself. But it's just not a lot of that. There's just few and far between. No, I don't know how long's left on this GoPro. I'm going to get up and have a look. Been chatting away. We'll give it another 5 minutes and we'll have a recast. Let me just see how long's the battery we're up to. Oh, 30 something%. We've got at least another 20 minutes of me waffling on. And even when the battery goes, I'm probably going to fish till 4. I'll give it another half an hour, even after the battery's gone. Let's have a reel in. But biteless, fishless, I don't care. Oh, I love fishing. It's boring, all you do is sit there. What a load of rubbish. We all know that's not true. The only people that say fishing is boring is people that have never been fishing. Or they're limited intelligence and don't enjoy sitting in nature and wildlife around them. They probably want a copy of Hello magazine or What's on TV Now in front of them in order to have a good time. Because I know that I don't need that, and neither do you, and that's why I'm doing this, and that's why you're watching it. Fishing live is a great concept, isn't it? Because if I go out with my wife and kids to the park and there's someone fishing, I will stop, because I'm addicted. I'll stop and watch and see what goes on. And with fishing live on YouTube, you get the same opportunity. You're just getting the kids, Mark Dunbar. That's fantastic. Mine are now old enough to walk home on their own. The 12-year-old's walking home from high school. He's just sent me a message. And my 10-year-old walks home from primary school with her friends, which is nice. A little gang of them. So TG Sus, you live not far from this spot. Well, come down and join me sometime for a fish. There's plenty of room on this peg. I'll just show you around. Look, you can see a little bit better. The camera's a bit wonky, sorry. But there's room for another angler over there. If you ever want to join me, you are more than welcome. There we go. You are more than welcome to come and join me. But there's not much doing. There's not much doing at the moment. It's a bit slow. But you never know. All it takes one fish to get an interest, bam, that rod tip goes, and we're in. So the other day I did a live stream from Drinkwater Park, and the quality of it was terrible, and literally 10 minutes after the battery on my camera packed up and the live stream finished, I caught a pike of about £6 or £7. Well, that's generous, £5 or £6, and it was absolutely lovely. And it's going to feature in the next video that I make. But today it's all a bit blankety blank, and I think tomorrow, so I have time, I'm going to go fishing on the canal, and I'm going to try and put a few roach together. I'll fish bread, punch bread on the canal, see if I can catch some little roach, and they will get bonked on the head, stuck in my freezer, and become live bait. I mean, it'd be interesting to throw a big live bait out here, wouldn't it? Big rod, 2 ounce lead, 2 ounce live bait, just see what happens, because there's pike in here. In fact, I bet there's some good pike. No one really fishes the Irwell for pike, but a river pike is a wonderful thing, and they do exist here, so that might be an option for a future. We're getting an update on Mark's school run situation. He says got one kid waiting for the other. Yeah, there's always one of them, Mark, you see. There's always a quick one and a slow one. One that rushes out of school and the other one that lingers. I've got that. Little lad is like a rat up a drain pipe or a rat out of a drain pipe leaving school, and the other one will stand chatting, very slowly putting her coat on, talking to the teacher, then she'll forget something and have to go back inside. Dear me. But I don't mind you, and I'm glad do you know what? I'm glad you all join me when I'm fishing, because anybody who knows me will tell you that I do enjoy a chat. I do enjoy a chat. Mark, you're talking about chub and barbel. You caught a trout out of it, and you should be giving your children all the attention that they deserve. All the love and attention. Sweets and a biscuit on the way home, give them a little bit of sugar, pick them up after school, banana. Well, my wife's working from home today, which is always a benefit, because it means that there's somebody in that's not me when the kids come home from school, so she can deal with all that today. I'll deal with the homework after tea. That's first job after tea in our house. Get your homework out on the kitchen table, and I sit there and I do the homework with the kids to make sure it's done right and to the correct standard. Because you've got to, don't you? Because the kids they'll write any old rubbish. They'll try and get away with anything with homework. So I think it's my job as a parent to make sure they can do the maths and the handwriting's of good order, and they're reading the right things. So my parents didn't care when I was a kid. As long as it was quiet, they couldn't care less. Which is why I never did any homework. And see where that got me, eh? I didn't get where I am today by doing homework. I wish I did. Well, it's a nice picture you've got anyway on that on this GoPro. You can see the bridge, it's lovely. Right, 5 more minutes and we'll have another reel in. 20 past will do. I'll keep jabbering. It's creamy chicken and bacon pasta with mushrooms tonight in my house, made with creme fraiche, and I think she'll have some coriander leaves I'll snip with the scissors. She's got to plant herbs on the windowsill. I just snip the tops off, and then I get told off for snipping too much. But I do like my herbs and my greens. But there's a constant battle in our house. My wife likes pak choy, Chinese cabbage. I think it's rank and foul. It's only fit to feed to animals. I'm more Popeye. I like my spinach. Absolutely love spinach. I can eat it raw. I can eat it steamed, boiled. I can eat spinach with everything. It's lovely. Lots and lots of iron and vitamins. Very good for you. I'd eat it every meal. But no, pak choy is what she prefers to buy. So I'm still on my dry January, even though I think it's the 7th of February today, or the 8th of February, I don't know what day of February it is, and I don't care. But it's the beginning of February, I'm still doing my dry January, and I've lost so far since I came back from my holidays. You always put a bit of weight on holidays, don't you? But I came back on my holidays on the 4th of January, but I stopped drinking on the 27th of December. And I've now lost 9 pounds, which is not bad. 4 kilos for anybody who still wants to be in the European Union. So that's not bad in a month, and I've not been on any special sort of diet. I've just cut down on the biscuits, the beer and biscuits diet, no beer and a lot less biscuits, because I hate going on diets. There is nothing worse than torturing yourself. But I need to lose a stone, so I'm 9 pounds down now. And I reckon I've got another, what am I, 14 stone 7, and I like to be, when I get to 14 stone I'll be happy. But I've said that I'm not going to buy any booze or drink any beer until I'm sitting on the deck of my new boat. So I'll save a bit of money at the same time, which will make buying a boat come round that much quicker. And later on this spring you'll see me open a can. Not a bottle, so I prefer it out of I'm cheap, I prefer it out of a can. Carling will do me, or Carlsberg, I don't care. I don't need posh beer, I don't need expensive beer, I just need beer. No, I'll sit on the deck of my own boat and I'll open 4 cans, might even have 6 cans. I'll get a little bit squiffy and then I'll go below decks and fall asleep. And I'm looking forward to that, because I'm not ever going to give up beer for good, because I enjoy it too much. Could never be alcohol free. I gave up fags, cigarettes, when I was 23 or 24, and at the same time gave up smoking the herb, and I've not really missed that much. I did, well, I lie, I missed it for about 10 years, but I knew I had to stop because it's so bad for me. I don't think drinking beer is anywhere near as bad for you in your long-term health or your life expectancy as smoking cigarettes. So what can you do? I went to an inner city school in Salford. I started smoking when I was 10. 10 years old at primary school. There were loads. We used to buy cigarettes off the dinner ladies. Cigarette and 2 matches. Hey, how times change, eh? The school lunch lady selling cigarettes to the kids. Oh, I love that school. But it's all quiet. It's we've got 2 minutes to recasting in. But 20 past, well, by my watch, 20 past 3 we'll have another cast and see how we get on. What I might do is leave the worm off and just change it up a little bit, and I'll put some maggots on the hook for this cast instead of the worm. Just see if that makes any sort of difference. But sadly, a size 10 hook most days, we're probably going to struggle to get a size 10 in a small days. Size 10 hook. But I'm not going to change that. I've got some size 16s with me, but I just can't be bothered changing down. The next time I come, I will definitely fish 2 rods. Definitely fish 2 rods. One on the worm feeder and then another one on maggot feeder. So we'll see how we go. But as it stands at the moment, or as I'm sitting, because I'm not standing, but as it is at the moment, it's all very quiet. Oh! And we had a bit of action then. Now, was that the feeder springing backwards? We just had that. Do you see the rod tip go like that? I'll bring it in anyway, because there's no fish on that. It might have just been something hitting the line or the feeder moving slightly. It's certainly empty by now. Go, and up we come, and we'll swap it round a bit this time. We'll get rid of the worm and we'll put on a maggot and see what happens. Let's get a few maggots on. We'll choose some of the bigger ones, because these are meant to be pinkies, but there's maggots and pinkies. The sizes are all mixed up, which is not ideal. But what can you do? And they're beginning to turn into casters now as well, most of them. So obviously a trip to the fishing tackle shop is in order to have a restock of bait. Right, we're on treble maggot. I'll show you on my hand here, if you can see that. There. Right, let's fill this feeder back up. Oh dear. Oh, and there's the feeder packed with bread and mini maggots. So that's what it looks like. Flatbed. Let's get that cast back in. You got to be in it to win it is the name of the game. I don't mind struggling in February. It's nice to be out. See, now as soon as you put it out in that far channel, because the flow is slightly stronger, the feeder bounces a little bit, so you can see the rod tip knocking, which isn't ideal. And it does tell me I do need a heavier feeder, which I'll order some tonight. Because if the feeder's bouncing slightly, it's no good for bite detection, is it? We have to make a decision if it's feeder bounce on the bottom or if it's a fish going rat-a-tat-tat. And I, hand on heart, honestly think that it's feeder bounce. But I suppose when we're fishing maggots, if it has been fish attacking the bait, when we bring it back, the maggots will all be chewed up. So it'll be easier to see if we've had any fish activity or not. Whereas with a worm, all you do is bring back a worm. There's no telltale signs, are there, on a worm? Fishing, not catching. That's exactly Mr. Fishing Not Catching is what I'm doing. I'm fishing, but I'm not catching. But I'm trying to catch anything that swims. We're on the River Irwell in Manchester in the UK. You can look it up. Look up River Irwell, Agecroft. You'll find out where I am. That's Agecroft Bridge behind me. I'm fishing on the bottom with worms and maggots, hoping to catch anything that's in the river. So that could be barbel, chub, trout, pike, you name it. Roach, dace, chub, perch. Plenty of different species of fish in here, but there's not that many because it's traditionally been quite a polluted river, this. So the fish population isn't huge, and you have to work hard to catch them. So anybody out there who's enjoying themselves watching me wittering on and blanking away here on the River Irwell, press the thumbs up button down on your screen, press the subscribe button, because I go fishing all the time. I love my fishing. I'm out fishing all the time, and you'll get a notification when I'm online if you press the subscribe and notification bell. It'll help me get on my journey towards 1,000 subscribers. When I left home at lunchtime, I was on 594, which is good because last week I was on 580. So I've lost 9 pounds in weight, but put on 14 subscribers on YouTube, which isn't too bad, is it? You're watching from Oregon in the USA. That's amazing. My son, my eldest son, who's 29, he was in Oregon last week. He was in Oregon and San Francisco at work. So he works for a UK company, and he's doing some work over in the States. He works for a logistics company, an international logistics company. And he went and viewed all the giant sequoia trees. Just subbed, my friend. Oh, that's fantastic. I've got new subscribers. Well, let me warn you, I go fishing a lot. And I love it. Absolutely love it. So I hope you come and join me on a regular basis. I'd love to go fishing in Oregon. The closest I've been to Oregon, I think, is San Francisco. Not San Francisco, sorry, Los Angeles. I've never been to San Francisco. My son was there. I've been to LA a few years ago. Had a great holiday with my wife. Santa Monica Pier. What else did we see? Hotel California, Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood, Palm Springs out in the desert, Joshua Tree National Park. Oh, we had a fabulous time. Halty Salty, he's from North Carolina. He's a good lad. He joins us on a regular basis, does Halty Salty. Lots of fishing in Oregon. I'll bet there is. I'd love to come fishing with you in Oregon. A couple of years ago, we were about an inch away from booking a holiday to British Columbia, which is your neck of the woods, and I was going to go sturgeon fishing and salmon fishing, but my wife changed her mind, and we ended up going to Indonesia instead. And I didn't even bother to take any fishing rods because I knew we were going on coral reefs, and I don't feel great about fishing on coral reefs. When you got your snorkeling kit on and your scuba mask, you don't really want to go and dangle a hook and line in front of them. But I did actually end up going swimming with whale sharks, which is the largest fish in the world. So we're on a bit of a boat trip because I went there for 6 weeks. There's no point going somewhere like that for a 10-day holiday, so I went for 6 weeks. And we went on a boat trip round some of the Indonesian islands. I got woken up at 5 o'clock one morning by the captain of the boat saying, "Get up, Mike. Get your swimming stuff on. There's whale sharks," and there were 3 whale sharks right underneath our boat, which are a lot bigger than your huge sturgeon in Oregon. But they're a protected species, and they don't eat, and they're filter feeders, aren't they? Whale sharks. They don't have teeth. They're plankton eaters. We get basking sharks in the UK, and they're similar but not on the same scale. But I would absolutely love to go sturgeon fishing in Oregon with you. Maybe one day, you never know. I am semi-retired and I'm not broke, and I do enjoy spending a bit of money on my fishing. A friend of mine, he's just come back from Patagonia. He's catching massive trout down there and salmon. Oh, I'm so jealous. Well, I'm not sure if there was salmon. I have to look. Oh, do you get salmon in Patagonia, or were they just like mega-sized sea trout? I'm not 100% sure if you get salmon in Patagonia. I think you get trout and sea trout. But maybe one day I'll find out for myself. If anybody knows, can you catch salmon in Patagonia? Leave a comment, because I'm not 100% sure. But I know you catch amazing trout. So it must be early morning. It must be about 9 o'clock in the morning in Oregon. It's 3:30 in the afternoon in the UK. So I think it must be about 9:30 in the morning, because I know in New York's is it a 4 or a 5 hour time difference to the UK, and you're the opposite side of the states. So. TGSUS, you've got a few hours free on Friday. You'll give this swim a go. But I'll tell you what, how's about a date? You can fish that swim, I'll fish this swim. I'll see you here about 2 p.m. Oh wow, 7:31 a.m. You're addicted to YouTube if you're up at 7:31 a.m. and you're watching fishing. Well, you're addicted to fishing as well. But it's 7:31 a.m. in Oregon and you're watching some not right in Manchester in the UK fishing on a semi-polluted river. You're addicted to fishing, my friend. Mr. Fishing Not Catching. But hey ho, this live stream will be coming to an end soon. I'm just going to check the battery. The last time I looked, the camera was on 30 something percent. We should be in single figures by now. Let me have a look. Oh my, we're on 6%, which is not very many. Now then, I've only recently bought this GoPro and I only have the one battery. And obviously you can't change the battery on your camera in the middle of a live stream because it'll just turn off the feed. So I have a plan that involves a external battery pack that I will tape to my tripod, so that in future we can live stream for longer than an hour and 15 minutes. Because I reckon with a battery pack, and you could probably live stream for 6 hours, which is something I would love to do, because there's plenty of good fishing spots in this area and in the region, and it'll be good. Oh, I think that's just the wind. The rod tip moved very slightly then. It was just a bam bam. I think that was possibly the wind just catching the line. But so far I haven't. I think this is. I need to start numbering the live streams. I've fannied around with live streams over the years and never really got a good quality. But now I've got this external, the GoPro that you can link to your phone, etc., etc. It's much better because I can join in the chat and see what's going on and look at my own picture and what have you. Well, sorry, not look at my own picture. That's like looking in the mirror, but look at the picture that I'm sending out to you guys. It's really interesting for me. I really like this form of fishing. I'm going to do loads and loads more of it. But on my standard YouTube videos, I think I'm up to episode 7. And then on Wednesday or Thursday this week, we'll get out episode 8. But I need to start numbering the live streams so that we know where we're up to. And I think this one will be about number 4. So we're on... eventually, because I'll do a lot more live streaming than standard vlogging, we'll end up about Fishing Fiend episode 30, but Fishing Fiend live stream episode 130. So you're gonna get your ass fired. Good luck out there. Got to go before you get fired. Oh yeah. And Mr. TGSUS says it's on. So Mr. TGSUS, because the battery's going to go any minute and this live stream's going to come to an end, come down. Yeah, you need to bring your ledger kit, because float kit it's a bit difficult for me because you're quite high up. It'll be very difficult to float fish. So you need your ledgering kit, swim feed, flat bottom swim feeder, and they'll sell them in Angling Direct in Swinton. if I haven't cleaned them out of the stock by the time you get there. But I'll buy mine on eBay because I prefer eBay. So that's nice. I'll have a bit of company on Friday, and I might bring my friend Phil, might join us as well. And then we've got lots of us to have a chat. And obviously, the more rods that are in, the more hooks in the water, the more chance we've got of catching, don't we? It's on, is the phrase. It's on. It's a date. I love my fishing. But it is a small world, isn't it? That somebody out there in YouTube land lives just around the corner and knows exactly where I'm fishing and has agreed to come fishing with me on Friday. So we'll go live again on Friday afternoon. We might go live again before that, but most definitely 2 p.m. British time, Great British o'clock. We'll be going live from the River Irwell. And not just me, there'll be not just one nitwit with a rod, there'll be more nitwits with the rods. Casting into water has got hardly any fish in it. But just before you go, and before this live stream goes, I'm going to reel in and we'll just check these maggots to see if there's been any form of activity out there at all, which I highly doubt. Let's have a look. Just so that you're in the loop and I'm not keeping secrets from you. No, those the bait is, there we go, untouched, unblemished, still in prime, pristine condition, which is a bit sad because I was hoping I'm gonna have another cast. Now you're going in a minute. I'm staying on fishing. You're all going. I'm going to stay for a few more casts because I can. But any minute now you're going to just be electronically turned off. I don't even have anything to do with it. The battery will go and the live stream will end. And then there'll be a replay uploaded onto YouTube in about 4 or 5 hours tonight when it's all set itself up. Right then, let's have a cast. There we go. It's about 7 or 8 feet out there on that. As you come this side, it's about 4 feet deep, this pool. If you're in that channel on the far bank, it's about 7 or 8 feet deep. And now the rod tip's moving as the lighter swim feeder, which is only 23 grams, which is less than an ounce if you're in America. Grams or euros. It's less than an ounce is 28 grams, isn't it? So it's 23, so it's 3/4 of an ounce. We could really do with 1.5 ounces, I think, of lead on the bottom of that feeder. Just keep it static in the water. But at the moment, those little tremors on the rod tip are is the feeder bouncing down the riverbed. But the nice thing is that there are no snags there because there are quite a lot of casts now into this swim. And every single time it's come back, so I'm not sure what the bottom's made from. I can find out, and I'll show you how I'll find out the next time. But the bottom is either gravel or sand. My suspicion is sand, but there's one way to find out, and the way to do that is just to put some blue tack on the bottom of the feeder, and if it comes back with the blue tack covered in sand, okay, you know what you're dealing with. If it comes back with little bits of gravel on, you know what you're dealing with. Or you'd like to, but no doubt they're like, as there's different strengths of current, there'll be different bands of substrate on the riverbed. But at least we'll try, hey? At least we'll try and find out. Anyway, I'm enjoying myself. Anybody in the chat just let me know, has the picture quality and sound quality been okay, or have we had a lot of buffering today? I am trying to sort that out. There's a little bit of a process involved, but hopefully I'm gonna, over the next week or two, I'm gonna really sort that out. When I'm fishing in the centre of Manchester, when we've got massive high upload speeds of about 80 megabyte MPS, there'll be absolutely no sound and buffering issues at all. So I've got access to 5G when I'm in the city centre. Out here we're on 3G or 4G if we're, well, we're not on 3G, we're on 4G, but the upload speeds are dreadful. I'll be able to have a look anyway. So your time with me is coming to an end now, unfortunately. There is no way that that battery is going to last much longer. It's been really nice of you to join me. I don't know how many, what our peak viewers are today. We got into double figures last time, which was amazing. It's probably about 5 or 6 at a time, but as we carry on and we're doing more and more live fishing, I'm going to do it hopefully 2 to 3 times a week, because I've got the time and the inclination, and I do enjoy it. And as I say, as the weather warms up, we'll get into spring, and we'll be doing lots of other types of live fishing as well. So I intend to take you live fly fishing. We'll do a bit of that. We'll do a little bit of live fishing in the centre of Manchester for carp and bream on the Manchester Ship Canal. And we'll go tench fishing, we'll go sea fishing. I'm gonna, well, shore fishing. I don't think I'll be able to get any sort of signal when I go out on my boat, but so those will go out on my normal vlog, but the live fishing will be able to do that from the shore. And you'll see that I enjoy any type of fishing, anything that's got a rod and a hook on the end. We can go spinning for trout. I love it all, as the size and amount of clutter in my tackle shed alludes to. God, that needs tidying out. Thanks for the update on the picture and sound quality. It's okay, that's good for me. There's nothing worse than trying to live stream and it's just buffering all the time. But I really can't believe that the battery's still hanging on and you're still with me. I mean, I'm not complaining because I'm glad you're with me and I'm enjoying myself having a chat with you. We've had lots of people join in. We've had Phil Lee, Mark Dunbar, Twee. Many thanks to Fishing Not Catching, TGS US. Well, Halty Salty from North Carolina's joined in. All good stuff. Fishy Things has said hello. I really enjoyed the chat today, guys. There we go. That big lorry going over the bridge now. Oh my word. Some of these lorries must be way over their axle weight. Sometimes it's like 50 to 100 yards where the ground shakes a little bit. You can feel the vibrations from the HGVs. There we go. And to keep Phil Lee happy and a few others, the next time I come, I won't wear my FC United hat. I'll wear a different hat. I like this one though. It's nice and bright. I like bright colours, and keeps my head warm on a cold day like this. Mark Dunbar's just joined us. Mark, my battery's about to go any minute. You've joined us. You said I'm on the telly on your big TV, but you can only chat on the phone. What's the sound and picture quality like, Mark, on your TV? Because the signal, the signal quality isn't brilliant here. I can only upload it. Was it 1080 instead of 4K? So it's not going to be cinematic. Sorry. But I've still not caught anything. I've swapped off the. I've taken the worm off, and I've gone on triple maggot on a size 10. But they're still not having it. We'll see if we can get one last cast in. They're still not having it. We'll see if we can get one last cast in before the battery goes. But we'll see. and I'll throw this one a bit shorter just to test the place out, because I haven't dropped one in short yet, so we'll see. I just had a data warning from my mobile provider. Doing this eats up huge amounts of data on your phone. Huge amounts of data. But so what? It's good fun. Life's too short to worry about running out of data, isn't it? Just buy more. Buy more data society, that's how we live these days. Let's go shorter. There we go. That's right bang in the middle of the river. So instead of being far bank, we've gone middle. Right, so it's like the old game show, isn't it? Top, middle or bottom. Look at that. I've used like 4 gigabytes of data this live stream so far. I think I need to get a new SIM with unlimited data, and then I won't get these messages saying you've only got 2.5 gigabytes of data left. Warning, warning. Oh well. So it's used nearly 4 gigs of data for an hour and 20 minutes of live streaming. See, it's about learning how to do it. We can make this work properly. We'll get it eventually. We'll get onto 4K 60 frames a second, super high quality, and it'll be live streamed when I get on super 6G broadband in the centre of Manchester. Pal of mine's got an office next to the river. He's given me his password to his company's Wi-Fi network, and that'll be jobs are good. And it'll be super fast, no lagging, no buffering, no stuttering and delays. Anybody who's watching out there who hasn't liked and subscribed yet, give me a subscribe. Give this live stream a thumbs up. It's very much appreciated. I'm trying to get to 600. I think I will, when I get to 600, I'm going to do a tackle giveaway for 700, and we'll see how quickly I can get to 700 subscribers, because when I get to 1,000 subscribers I can start paid by the YouTube partner channel, and I can use that to put a little bit of petrol in my car and obviously do a little bit more fishing, so it can self-circulate, because I'm never going to make any money out of this, but I do get a lot of enjoyment from it. And you must as well, because some of you're tuning in on a regular basis. It's giving you something to watch when you're at work, because let's face it, we'd all rather be fishing than working, wouldn't we? Eh? That is a life goal. More fishing, less working. There's something to aspire to. So anybody out there, if you're watching and you've got any questions for me, just fire them out to me in the chat and I'll do my best to answer. No secrets here, unless you ask me something personal. I might have a secret or two. We've stayed clean today. We've kept the topics on fishing and live streaming, because my friend Phil's not here. The king of Tinder. So he'll be out with us soon. Mark Dunbar, looks like a decent peg there, Mike. I'll come with you at some point soon. Well, I'm going to be fishing on